Oof, would one signing win Manchester United the title? Welcome back to another week of TFW. This is the footballing show which puts your opinions right out there. This week in the community tab on Sunday night, I asked you guys for the one signing which you would love your club to bring in and the reason behind it. So many of you got in touch. It's absolutely amazing. I've got my laptop. Let's get going with, first off, Prince Chibata, who has said Philippe Coutinho should head to Newcastle when his loan spell expires so that he could be the star man and return to his Liverpool brilliance. Love from Zimbabwe. Spoken about this a lot recently, yeah. Philippe Coutinho in a team where he's the star man playing in the star position and just give him free rein to do whatever he wants is brilliant. I'm not so sure it's at Newcastle, unfortunately. Ruben Dias said Aguero back to Atletico. We need a quality striker to partner up João Felix. Completely agree. João Felix will learn so much from Aguero. Aguero's still a top quality player. Manchester City potentially with that Champions League ban could be heading back to Atleti. I can kind of see that one happening. I'm not so sure it would happen now, especially if they don't have the ban City and he's going to cost a lot of money because he's still probably the best striker in the Premier League. But that one could happen in a few years. Yeah, I'm behind that one. Sky Hunter said James Rodriguez to Everton only to improve the social media reach. Really kind of bizarre fact considering you wouldn't put him in the top 20 or 30 players in the world, but he's the best social media reach apparently. Isn't he fourth or fifth behind Ronaldo and Messi? Anyway, that's irrelevant. The same thing as Philippe Coutinho. Yes, if James Rodriguez goes to Everton, is given that spot in the team where he's a star player, it's built around him and he has a run of games without going out of the team or without getting injured as well, without being out of the team and playing the football the way that he likes to play and with the team playing to his strengths, he could be a great player. Ryan Yowler said for Everton, continuing the Everton theme, we need a creative midfielder, like James Rodriguez. I'd go for Gotze in all honesty. He still has what it takes to play at the top and mid-level. Just needs that coach like Ancelotti who believes in him. Completely agree. Mario Gotze will be brilliant, although the reason he wasn't re-signing at Dortmund is because he wanted an extortionate contract of 10 million. Actually, on the flip side, if you're willing to give James Rodriguez what is probably a massive contract, you'll probably give it to Gotze too, and the fact he's on a free transfer. So yeah, I could see it happening. For me, if Everton were to make these big signings, they'd have to make a few of them, because you'd have to promise the big signing that more would be coming in. Because you don't want Gotze or James to be the only one. You want to sit down with them and be like, trust me, we're bringing in loads of top players. Alexander Luft has said Kai Havertz to Bayern Munich. He's a young Raumdeuter with his ability to read the game. Yes, he is a phenomenal player, and him moving to the biggest team in Germany seems like a reasonable thing to do. He has been linked with Liverpool as well, which I think he'd also excel because he's such a phenomenal player. Maybe to take over the likes of Thomas Müller. The thing is, at the moment, I'm not sure Bayern necessarily need him. If they bought him, they'd find a way to fit him into the team because he's unbelievable, but they're still doing pretty good without him. They've just signed key players in those positions to new contracts. Next up, Santino. Bernardo Silva to Barcelona. Now that Man City doesn't have Champions League football, they've still got football. Everyone's wanting to leave. He suits the style of play. This is another one of these Griezmann Coutinho moments. Bernardo Silva's brilliant. Barcelona play brilliant football. Well, some of the time they do. Bernardo Silva at Barcelona seems like a match made in heaven, but I bet when he goes there, he'd be played out of position and he'd be absolutely rubbish. I'm going to say no, although on paper, yes, it's a complete and utter yes. Raheem Butt, what a name, saying, I would choose Van Dijk, but obviously that's unrealistic. This one I love. So he said, I would choose Van Dijk. This is for Manchester City, by the way, judging by the Manchester City AVI. I would choose Van Dijk, but obviously that's unrealistic. Good, he's understood that buying the best defender in the world from your main rivals is unrealistic. So maybe Varane. I mean, you're hardly bringing down the realms of possibility here. You've gone from the best defender in the world to arguably the second best defender in the world from Real Madrid in his prime. I mean, if Van Dijk's unrealistic, Varane is a minute amount less than unrealistic. That's not going to happen either. But yeah, it would be an unbelievable choice to partner Laporte at the back. Unless, according to Sabia Das, Aymeric Laporte moves to Barcelona. As he said, they've got an ageing defence who have been shambolic this season. Boom, that is brutal. He would improve the team massively, yeah. One of the top 5 defenders in the world, I'd say, with Laporte. Not so sure whether Man City would be willing to sell him, given they've got defensive troubles of their own. However, with Todibo seemingly never going to be settling into the Barcelona squad, Piqué getting older, and Titi always think with a move away from the club. Laporte would be pretty good, especially with his control on the ball as well, not just being a quality defender, but that's massive for Barcelona, and I think he'd be a really good asset. Knight Jr. said Partey to Manchester United, definitely. What we lack is a holding midfielder currently. That's Scott McTominay's pretty good. Holding midfielder? Yeah, McTominay's pretty much all-round midfielder. I think Partey's better anyway. With that, definitely, I guess we challenge for a title next season. Ooh, would one signing win Manchester United the title or challenge? Partey would go a long way to challenging, especially being more stronger in the top four. I could see them up to the sort of where Chelsea and Leicester are now, maybe for Manchester City. In terms of challenging for the title, I think United might need a little bit more than just Partey in midfield. Obviously, see where the Pogba situation goes, but I think maybe a little more than Partey. Who knows? They could challenge. Certainly, the front three would be better. And Partey would make the midfield three better. Yediga Yakasyanov. Hope I pronounced that right, mate. Chelsea to sign Odriozola. Reason, replacement for an ageing Azpilicueta. He's only 29. Saying he's young, paving the way for James, cheap. Now, this is a funny one because Bayern Munich signed him on loan from Real Madrid, and they've now said they're definitely not going to be holding on to him permanently, and he's only made like 2 appearances. So obviously he's not that good. And if Real are willing to let him go out, I really don't think he's that good. I think there's no need. I mean, Reece James is definitely number 1 right back. He's brilliant. Azpilicueta's 29, has a few years and understands the club massively to play in a sort of helping Reece James, but also being a really good backup and filling in for him and swapping whenever need be. I don't think there's a need to go and confuse that with Odriozola, and I think Chelsea have not problems, but Chelsea could go for bigger and better signings to have more of an impact on their squad than signing a right back. Onefootball says Spurs to sign Ruben Dias, top-class centre-back, can replace Jan Vertonghen and boost up our defence massively. Yeah, Ruben Dias is a quality centre-back from what we've seen with Benfica and with the Portuguese national side as well. He'll help the majority of the teams that have got a centre-back issue at the moment, especially Spurs with Vertonghen leaving, Sanchez being a bit dodgy at times, and Alderweireld being on the decline. Omar Abdullah Said Hamed has also agreed with the Ruben Dias factor, but for his club Lazio, saying our defence is so old we need it, plus he is a beast and cheap. Depends how cheap you're talking. This, no offence to Serie A, mainly to Lazio, I mean outside of Juventus and Inter Milan, Ruben Dias being cheap for like Spurs or Man United or Man City would be like 40 to 50 million. That's cheap for a Premier League team. 40 to 50 million for a centre-back for a Serie A team is massive. That's a huge amount of money for someone, as I said, outside the Champions League, even though Lazio are pushing for the title, but outside the traditional big spenders of Inter, maybe AC and Juventus. I mean, I have no idea what Lazio's record signing is, but I'm pretty sure that would be close. I mean, I know they had some massive ones back in the days, like the early 2000s. But yeah, have they spent 40 to 50 million on a player recently? Not quite sure. Yes, Asabi and Radu are pretty young. Bastos is like 29. They do have Luis Felipe, who's quite young. They could build a defence for the future. We all know they've got a phenomenal attack. We've seen that this season. LM20 said, I support Arsenal. I would sign Diet Upamecano. So would most of the world. And yes, Upamecano would definitely sort out Arsenal's defence big time. I think they have to get rid of a lot of dead wood before they bring in some new players, especially when there's so much talk about how much budget Mikel Arteta will have to spend in the summer. Arsenal are notoriously quite a stingy club. So when you add the COVID-19 pandemic on top of that, then they're definitely not going to have too much money to spend. But Upamecano would be brilliant at Arsenal. Just think it's a bit of a shame there's quite a few other teams in for him, namely Bayern Munich. And lastly but not least, Arj Majitia has said Manchester City should sign David Alaba because he's very versatile and plays in different positions. Completely agree, if it wasn't for the fact that Bayern Munich love him for all the same reasons, that he is very versatile, can play in different positions, and that they'll definitely want to hold on to him for a few more years. City could do with him, most teams could do with him. City are very good with this sort of using a few players in versatile positions, especially their fullbacks, moving into midfield and all sorts. Alaba would be a great fit. I just don't think he's going to leave Bayern Munich. But that is all from today's TFW. Thank you so much for all of your comments. This has been really, really good. Anyway, let me know any themes you'd like for us to pick out and talk about in the upcoming TFW episodes. Of course, normally we talk about, the football that's gone past in the last week, but with no football, we need something else to talk about. So let us know any further themes you'd like us to discuss on the show. Leave your comments every Sunday night in the YouTube community tab for the Monday show. Anyway, that's all from me. You can leave your comments in the comments section below. You can smash the like button and click here or here to check out all of the other videos we've got going on OneFootball. But until next time, I'll see you guys later.